Okay, so this is the M30 engine out of my 1988 735 IL. It's done about 395,000 miles, and it's time to freshen up the engine. I've had a short block that I've been sitting on since 1997, and I figured since there's not really much to do these days, since I'm out of work, I decided that I'm going to change the short block on this guy. So for fun, I want to do a compression and leak down test on it just to see what kind of shape the engine actually is in. It did have a pretty severe overheat a few years ago, and it does not have the original head on it anymore. But the thing's down on power and runs crappy when it's cold and makes some funny noises and does things like that. Things I'd expect out of an engine that has so many miles on it. So I have a leak down tester, I have a compression tester, I have a whistle to find top dead center, I have a button starter here so we can do the compression test, and I have a ratchet with a 36 millimeter on it to bar the engine over. And the nice thing about this engine is the starter, I think you can see that, is actually bolted to the back of the block, so all I have to do is hook a jump starter up to it and we can do a compression test. So let me get the spark plugs out, and we'll get the compression test first, and then we'll do the leak down test. Okay, I've got the jump box hooked up to it. We're going to start with the compression test first. So we'll go to cylinder 1. And you want to try to hold the throttle open all the way so you get the most air possible. And we have 115. Cylinder 2. $85. Cylinder 3. $110. Cylinder 4. $115. It's actually just under 115, but I can't really see that too well. Cylinder 5. Five. These arms are not that long. Cylinder 6 is 117. Okay, so we're going to do our leak down test next. There's several ways you can do this. You can take the valve cover off and look at the valves, or the easy way is you can use one of these cylinder whistles, and you just basically screw that into your spark plug hole, and then when you bar the engine over, when you get to top dead center, it'll whistle. Basically just remove the whistle. Hook our adapter back up. Okay, I've set the gauge already. And cylinder 1, we have 14%. Now I usually do this in the order of the firing order. Makes it a lot easier, a lot less turning. So next would be cylinder 5. So you're right there already. %. Cylinder 3. Cylinder 3. 2%. Who would have thought? Cylinder 6. Hmm, 22%. So I'm on cylinder number 6, and I just wanted to show you that with the oil cap off, you can totally hear the air coming out here, and I can totally smell it too. So it's not a leak past the valves, which I kind of knew anyhow. But anyway, that confirms that that we've got some cylinder wear. Cylinder 2. Considering the compression from cylinder 2, it would be interesting to see what this one is. 7. 7. Lastly, cylinder number 4. %. Okay. Okay, so to run through the numbers, cylinder 1, 115 psi, 14% leak down. Cylinder number 2, 85 psi, 27% leak down. Cylinder number 3, 110 psi, 2% leak down. Cylinder 4, 114 psi, 14% leak down. Cylinder 5, 105 psi, 6% leak down. And cylinder 6, 117, 22%. So I guess it's safe to say the rings are worn. The pistons are probably sloppy in there. And I remember when I had the head off, the crosshatch was still decent, but there was actually some scuff marks towards the top of the bores. So I'm going to get the engine apart and start switching everything over. And I guess once the engine's built, we'll do another compression and leak down test after it's put back together. So I'm going to go upload this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.